Okay, good afternoon to all of you. I think we were discussing about chapter 7, structural organization in animals. In that, we were talking about animal tissues. Under that, we talked about epithelial tissue with examples we discussed, and now we are talking about connective tissue. Yesterday we covered up to dense regular. Under the dense regular connective tissue, we talked about the importance and significance of tendons and ligaments. And mind you, I gave a precaution to all of you. Ligament is a structure that doesn't have blood supply. Okay, rest all the parts have got blood supply in our body. So, part that doesn't have blood supply, if it is damaged, if it is cut, if it is broken, if it is torn, then it will be very, very difficult. Surgery is the only solution. So take care of the ligaments, particularly your knee joint, because all of you are sports people, you play rough and tough games, football particularly. Imagine football player having a ligamental tear. You cannot play, even you can't walk. Hence, take care of the ligaments. And I said, the best way to take care of your tendons and ligaments is warm up. Before actually you play basketball, take 10 rounds around the ground. Do some loosening exercises. Do some stretches. Then you have no problem. So coming, continuous, yes please.
Arthritis is caused due to loss of ligament or cartilage?
No, it may be cartilage, it may be low calcium content in the bone. Obesity is the main reason. Too much of fat. No? Who is bearing our weight? 2 knees, no?
Yes,
We have got only 2 knees. So if a person is 100 kg, okay, and each knee will have to bear 50 kg, which is very uncomfortable for the knee. Imagine if a person has got 50 kg weight, it is 25 only. So naturally, knee is comfortable. Obesity is the main reason. So we must try to reduce that obesity. And second, sometimes it is also genetic factor. Somebody is in the history of a family history, someone is having arthritis continuously, maybe fatness. Obesity is again genetic, that may come. That is the reason why we should do always exercise. And when we do the exercises, not only we become fit, we reduce the unnecessary fat, and we will not have this problem of arthritis. Okay? Right. So we continue with the next type of connective tissue, which is called dense irregular. Why Amaresh is waiting? I have unlocked the room. Okay. Yeah. So we go to the next one, that is dense irregular. Now you have seen yesterday's class dense regular. Now we are talking about irregular, wherein the fibroblasts and the fibers, okay, which are made up of a substance called collagen. Collagen is a protein, and if this collagen is present, the tissues will be strong. And the fibroblasts are the cells, okay. And the cells and the fibers, if they are not arranged in a particular pattern, then we say irregular, dense irregular. Where is this connective tissue present? It is present in the skin. That is the location, right? And next one is, we are going to talk about what just now someone said, cartilage. This is a special tissue. We are studying this cartilage under special tissue. So why is it so special? Because of its structure. Look at that. Cartilage. Okay. In this intercellular material, that is the matrix, is solid, is pliable due to chondroitin. There are salts, chemicals called chondroitin. These will be present in them. That makes them very strong, and it resists compression. We try to press that, it won't take. Okay, that's how this cartilage is very strong. And the cells of the cartilage are called chondrocytes. Okay, chondrocytes. And these are enclosed in small cavities within the matrix secreted by them. So there is a central substance called matrix, and in that matrix all these cells are present. So you must remember this word chondrocytes. Sometimes that 1 mark question. What are cartilage cells called? Chondrocytes. And this cartilage is most of the time it is replaced by bones in adults. This cartilage is present in babies, and as the babies start becoming and evolving into adults, the cartilage will be replaced by bones. Where is it present in our body? It is present in the tip of the nose, outer ear, we have got external ear, earlobe, and in all the joints in the particularly vertebral column, limbs and hands in adults. So if you see the location, it is all important places it is present. So any damage to cartilage, there is a problem for us. There is a problem for in our backbone, vertebral column. There is a problem in hands and legs because it is present in hands and legs. So a lot of pain will be there. Okay, what is it made up of? As we said, it is made up of cartilage cells, chondrocytes. And look at that central matrix, and look at the vertebra where it is present, the cartilage. Okay, and in the matrix you will see that thread-like structures. They are called collagen fibers. That is why it is considered as specialized connective tissue. Now next we move on. That is another specialized connective tissue which is very, very responsible for our shape and strength. That is bone. Okay, just imagine if we remove all the bones from our body, how we will look like. Okay, say we remove all the bones from our body, what will happen to us? We become invertebrate. Means we are converting ourselves from vertebrates to invertebrates. And bones are responsible for our strength and shape. So the moment bones are removed from our body, what will happen? We will become shapeless and we have no strength at all. And you must remember that bone cells are called osteocytes. Osteo, bone, Latin language. Osteocytes are bone cells, and they are seen in spaces called lacunae. Look at the diagram where the bone cells are present, and all of us know that bone tissue is very, very hard because of presence of calcium. Calcium salts are rich. Along with calcium, what is there? Collagen fibers. So the calcium plus collagen makes the bone strong. Just now someone asked arthritis. If the calcium salts come down, what happens? Density of the bone becomes less. When density of the bones become less, what happens? Bones become brittle. So once bones become brittle, they cannot bear the weight, and naturally the joints will have problem. Knee joints particularly. So person will have altogether different walking style, right? So that is how bone is very, very important in our body. And what are the functions of this bone tissue? As we said just now, it provides a structural frame to the body. That is the reason why I said if we remove all the bones from our body, we will become structureless, shapeless. We will become something like basketball and football instead of having the present shape. So they give structure frame to the body. and support and protect softer tissues and organs. Naturally, they are giving protection to the inner organs, inner tissues, and limb bones are weight bearing function. Just now I said, who is bearing our weight? Our two knees. Okay? If those two knees become brittle, become weak, naturally our body weight cannot be borne easily with a lot of discomfort. You must have seen people in your own home having arthritis. Observe their walking style. They will walk like a pendulum. Okay? Isn't it? They keep on shifting the body weight one to other. Right leg to left leg to right leg, and they complain of severe pain. There will be inflammation also. Swelling also will be there. So normally what doctors will advise, first and foremost thing, reduce weight. That is the natural way to reduce the pain. Second one, they give medication. Third one, physiotherapy will be done. Fourth one, of course, no other way, they give directly steroid injections to the knee. So temporarily the pain will be less, but then once person starts having the steroid habitualness, it becomes very difficult in future. Hence the best way is reduce the weight. That is the only way. And eat nutrients that are rich in calcium, because bones are made up of calcium and phosphorus, as all of you know. So when we are taking the diet, ensure that calcium rich foods we should take, like banana, tomato. These are all very rich in calcium that can be taken. But at the same time, doctors will give you a precaution. What is the precaution? You should not overeat. What happens if you overeat? Then the calcium starts accumulating in the kidney. Then that results in the kidney stones. Do not think that the stones that you are seeing on the ground, they will be inside our body, in the kidney. When we say kidney stone, it is calcium oxalate crystal. It's a chemical crystal, right? And normally we call it as kidney stone. And these kidney stones will make us again a painful one. They do not allow the urine to pass easily. They obstruct the path. Hence, kidneys will start accumulating urine, more and more urine, and there will be swelling of the kidneys. Hence, that is also a problem. That's why your English teacher will be telling you, too much is too bad. So we should have for everything Lakshman Rekha. Okay. Now, what is the structure of the bone? You can see every bone will have bone marrow. Inside there is a cavity, bone marrow cavity. And you can see the presence of that yellow bone marrow, wherein a lot of calcium will be there. And there will be disc shaped at the tip, you see, articular cartilage. Again, presence of cartilage is there in between the bones. So this will help the bones to have reduced friction. But if the friction is more from bone to bone, you can hear somebody lifting the say leg. In the knee joint there will be some sounds, kat-kata, isn't it? That means there is friction in that joint. So that is why doctor suggests physiotherapy for them, right? So this is about the importance of bone. Next we go to another important connective tissue. Without that we cannot survive. What is that? Our own blood, human blood. Why is it called connective tissue? We defined connective tissue as a tissue that connects different parts, different organs, different organelles, like that. Then only we are saying it is connective tissue. Here in blood, there are 4 parts, as all of you know. RBC. Let me expand it. Yes, you can see there. Red blood cells. Okay. Then WBC, white blood cells. You can see the change in the shape, like lymphocyte, monocyte, basophil. These are all types of WBC. Okay, so a lot of WBC will be there. And then platelets. Look at that small yellow structures. They are called platelets, right? And all these three are solid particles. RBC, WBC, platelets. They are solid particles, and they are all linked with each other. How is that they are linked with each other? Through a liquid part called plasma. So there are 4 parts in our blood which are connecting with each other: RBC, WBC, platelets and plasma. Okay, that is why we are studying blood under connective tissue. And all of you know that RBC is responsible for the formation of pure blood and impure blood. RBC has got a pigment called hemoglobin. Normally we write HB, hemoglobin. And this hemoglobin will be having lot of iron content, Fe. So Fe combines with the oxygen that we take, it becomes oxyhemoglobin. In whichever blood oxyhemoglobin is present, that blood is considered as pure blood. Similarly, at the end of digestion, whatever we eat, it gets into digestion. The end product of digestion is always, food plus oxygen is equal to, we get glucose first. Glucose plus oxygen, what do you get? Energy. That energy will be in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate, all of you know. Along with ATP, carbon dioxide is released. So where it has to go? Because carbon dioxide is formed inside our body, inside every cell. That is to be thrown out. How it will go out? Again it combines with hemoglobin of the RBC. Now it becomes carboxyhemoglobin. Whichever blood has got carboxyhemoglobin, that is said to be impure blood. So this carboxyhemoglobin reaches through the arteries, lungs. After going to the lungs, now it has got a choice. It should take oxygen and leave carbon dioxide. Since luckily hemoglobin has more affinity, your Desai sir must have told you in chemistry, hydrophilic substances. Hydrous means water, phili means love. Some substances love to be with water, hydrophilic. Like that, this is oxyphilic. It likes oxygen more than carbon dioxide. So the moment oxygen is available in the lungs, hemoglobin, what it will do? It will combine with oxygen that's available in the lungs through inhalation, releases the carbon dioxide. And that carbon dioxide through lungs, through our respiratory system goes out. So that is the function of RBC. And second, WBC, of course, they are our soldiers and scavengers. They fight with the enemy. In fact, even now, they are fighting with the invisible enemy, we call it. Who is that invisible enemy? Corona. So for WBC are strong, Corona can't do anything. So WBC are the soldiers. And why are you calling them as scavengers? The moment they catch hold of the enemy, they simply swallow and digest. Finish. They are like Kumbhakarnas. So WBC are playing dual role. What about platelet? Whenever we are playing, whenever we are running, whenever we are doing some physical exercise, sometimes we are prone to get into accidents. Okay? These accidents results in some bruises in our body. Some skin is erased, muscle is torn, okay? Blood comes out of the body. And if you observe, the blood, the moment injury takes place to the body and the blood starts coming out, maybe say 20-30 seconds, you can see there is clotting. Blood will stop bleeding. Blood will not come out of the body. There is clotting of the blood. Who is responsible for that clotting? Platelets. So, thanks to platelets. Without platelets, imagine our life. The entire blood would have gone out, isn't it? So, thanks to that, platelets. And what is the important thing of plasma? Plasma is the liquid part of it, and that is responsible for joining all these three cells. That's why we say it's a fluid connective tissue containing plasma, RBC, WBC and platelets. Look at that shape of the RBC, WBC and platelets. So these are very, very important. And if you carefully observe RBC, see the shape and nucleus is there or not? Inside the RBC, enucleated. There is no nucleus. Whereas WBC, prominent nucleus. And just now I said platelets are responsible for blood clotting. And in general, what is the use of this blood for us? Just now I said blood carries so many substances and circulates throughout the body. Blood is responsible for circulating two main things, very, very useful things for us. One is the oxygen, just now I said. Oxygen that is inhaled reaches the lungs and the blood goes to the lungs, pulmonary vein, pulmonary artery, you heard about these names. So the blood going to the lungs takes up the oxygen, and specifically hemoglobin is responsible for that. So hemoglobin plus oxygen, oxyhemoglobin. Just now I said if oxyhemoglobin is there, it's pure blood. That means the oxygen that is collected from the lungs will be distributed to each and every cell of our body by blood, including brain. Our brain cells also should have oxygen. Nerve cells also should have oxygen, right? So this is the important function that blood is doing. And second one is the food. Whatever we eat, finally when it comes to small intestine, it becomes glucose, right? We say absorption, is it? Digestion. After ingestion, food is taken in, then digestion in the stomach, absorption in the small intestine, assimilation in every cell, and whatever waste metals are there, that will be thrown out in the form of egestion. So the blood is carrying that glucose which is formed at the end of digestion to each and every cell. Now already it has taken oxygen to each and every cell. Now it has taken glucose. That means every cell in our body, including our brain cells, will have two substances at any given time, oxygen plus glucose. Now what happens next? Oxidation of glucose takes place, and oxidation of glucose results in energy production. How many energy molecules? 36 ATPs will be formed. I hope you are following me. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, glucose plus oxygen is equal to or gives rise to 36 ATP molecules plus CO2 plus H2O. And CO2 will be picked up by the same blood, puts it back to lungs, and it goes out of our body in the form of exhalation. Inhalation, exhalation. Inhalation of oxygen, exhalation of carbon dioxide. Okay? And second, whatever waste material that is formed. See, whenever we digest, whenever we eat, it is bound to happen that waste metals will be formed. How to excrete them? How to throw them out? We can't keep those waste material inside our body. Some of them are poisonous also, like urea, ammonia. They are highly toxic. Our body cannot afford to keep it for a long time. it is to be thrown out. Again, who is doing that? Blood. So thanks to the blood, it is doing two important things. One, all useful materials like glucose and oxygen are circulated throughout the body, every cell. This is the first target. Target 2, whatever toxic material is there, dangerous material is there, waste material is there, will collect from every cell and throws it out. That is the important functions of blood. Okay. Now we move on to the third type of tissue, which is the favorite of our Naveen. What is that, Naveen? Muscle tissue, muscles. Okay. And I am sure all of you are very conscious about building up of muscles, and most of you are having your favorite heroes in Bollywood, Tollywood. Okay. And what else? What other woods are there? What do you call the Kannada industry? Sandalwood. Yeah, sandalwood. And you are all fond of seeing your heroes having biceps and triceps, isn't it? And that biceps and triceps are part of this muscular tissue, right? Now look at that. How a muscle exactly will be there? Yes. See, this is how our muscle will be there. So muscle is basically made up of muscle fibers. They are called myofibrils. So myofibrils will be like this. How much you train, you give training for this muscle, that much the muscles will become strong. So only all of you will be doing weightlifting, will be doing ground exercise, so that this muscle fibers, myofibrils, will become strong. Once the myofibrils become strong, automatically muscle becomes strong, muscle gains some shape. And when your muscles in the body have gained shape, overall you also get a nice shape. So for this, who is responsible? This myofibrils. Okay. And there will be cells also along with this muscle fibers. Muscle cells also will be there in the head. You can see sometimes the muscle will have striations. Striations means cross walls. Okay. And if the muscle has got striations, it is more stronger. On the other hand, some muscles will not be having these striations, only myofibrils will be there. Then we say they are smooth muscles. Okay. So the tissues are made up of many muscle fibers, and muscle fibers are composed of numerous fine myofibrils. And what is the use of these myofibrils? They contract and relax. Now imagine many times when you are playing football, suddenly you stopped running and you started shouting that with a lot of pain, you fall down and you start shouting, muscle catch it is there, muscle catch it is there, isn't it? What is that muscle catch? The muscle has lost its ability to contract and relax. Instead, it stays in one particular position. Then you say muscle catch. Why that happens, muscle catch? Again, two reasons. One is you did not warm up. Directly from your house, you have gone to ground and started playing. So the muscle is not getting warmed up. All of a sudden you are giving work. You started sprinting 100-meter dash. Then the muscle is not able to bear the task that you are giving. So it gets catch. And what happens inside? When this happens outside, what happens inside? There is acid called lactic acid. So that lactic acid accumulates in the muscle. How much lactic acid accumulates, that much muscle becomes tight. So you have a muscle catch. How to get this lactic acid out? Simple way, go for muscle warm up. Before actually you do some exercise, even weightlifting I am telling, okay? Don't directly go and do weightlifting. You need to warm up first. Run for some time. Maybe 5 to 6 minutes you run around your gym and do some loosening exercise. Do cycling. Then only you go for it. Okay? Don't directly go into the gym and start lifting 20 kg, 30 kg. Then you will be like that only. There will be no movements. We can take the photo of yours. Okay? So, you understand that muscles are responsible for our locomotion and movement. Without muscles, we can't move, we can't go, walk from one place to another place. So, depending upon the structure of the muscle, muscles can be classified into three types. What are those? Striated muscles. Just now I said, what are striations? Cross walls. If the muscle fibers has got cross wall, then we say striated muscles. And these are voluntary muscles. Voluntary means when you give work, then only they will do. Voluntary muscles. Okay. And since they are attached to the skeleton, they are also called skeletal muscle. So skeletal, striated, voluntary muscles, all three are same. Okay. And second one is, if the muscle fiber doesn't have any striations, then we say smooth muscle. So smooth muscle is smooth because non-striated. There are no striations and they are present in the visceral region, means in the organs. And third one is the very special one, that is cardiac muscle. Cardium in Latin means heart. So muscles that are present in heart is cardiac muscle. Why they are so special? Both of them, this cardiac muscle is a combination of both skeletal as well as smooth muscles. Or we can say it has a mix of striations and non-striations. So smooth muscle plus striated muscle, rough muscle. So in cardiac muscle is special because it is made up of rough plus smooth muscle. And you have to appreciate that muscle because right from the minute we take birth until our death, the heart will be working and working and working. Is there any Sunday for that? Can it take rest on Sunday? Yes? Somebody was asking, sir, tomorrow is the, somebody has posted in the WhatsApp group, sir, is tomorrow holiday? Okay? Yes, tomorrow is holiday for us, but what about for our heart? Is there any holiday? Yeah? Is there any holiday for heart? If it takes tomorrow Muharram, if your heart says, sir, tomorrow Muharram, you are taking holiday, I will also take holiday, what will happen? Govinda, isn't it? So that is the greatness of our heart muscle, right? And what are all the parts? Let me tell you here. We are talking about, I think, first one, skeletal muscle or striated muscle. Look at that, all of you like this muscle. They are attached to bones, particularly your biceps, and cross walls are present across the muscle fibers, and muscle fibers are bundled in parallel position as you are seeing in the diagram, and a sheath of tough connective tissue encloses several bundles of muscle fibers. Look at that. This is how a muscle fibers, striations will be there. Okay. Now let me expand this. Yes. This is how the cross walls will be there. Look at that. Blood vessels. Okay. Bone and the muscle is attached. Okay. And you can see the myofibril. See the structure of myofibril. And sarcolemma is, of course, is the external covering. Sarcolemma is the external covering of the muscle. And what I want you to focus is this. Look at the striations, cross walls. So this is how your bicep muscle will be there. And I am sure all of you must be doing lot of exercise for this. Look at that. Biceps. and of course triceps also will be there in your body, right? So striated muscles are muscles that have cross walls, and they have a layer called sarcolemma that will be covering. Whereas on the other hand, look at the smooth muscle. We are going to close the session now, okay? Right, smooth muscles, there are no cross walls and they are involuntary. They are involuntary. That means you are not telling the muscle do this or do that, like your eyelid muscles, heart muscles, okay, involuntary, and the fuse form, they are tapering at the both ends as you are seeing in the diagram, and no cross walls, no striations, and cell junctions hold them together and they are bundled together as connective tissue sheath. They are seen in the, where are they seen? They are seen in the wall of internal organs. Look at that, such as blood vessels, stomach and intestine. So no striations at all. And we come to the last one. Look at that, heart muscle. It is a blend, mix. Of course, it is also involuntary. You are not telling heart, come on, start the heart, and it will start. And one fine morning you tell, come on my heart, stop it. Will it stop? Fortunately, it doesn't. That's why we are saying involuntary muscle. So cell junctions fuse the plasma membranes of the cells and make them stick together. And communication junctions, we talked about junctions, allow the cells to contract as a unit. When one cell receives a signal to contract, its neighbor cells also contract it. So if one cell receives the signal, others also will be there. Look at that. I said this is a combination of smooth muscle and rough muscle. That's why even though heart doesn't take leave, but it will perform like a shift system. Look at that. So when the work is there, duty is there, portion of this muscle fiber will do that, and the next fiber will do that, next duty. That means there will be shifting of the duties, right? So only arteries, what we call the structure, like you can see here, yes. This is how the cardiac muscle will be there. It's a blend of both, okay? I think we are running short of time. Tomorrow we will talk about other ones. That is most important one, nervous system. Until then, take care. Any doubts, please put up in the WhatsApp. Okay? Bye.